Alright, ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back? It's MikeyTMMA, aka Michael Thompson, Michael Jordan Thompson, whatever you want to call me. I'm back. It's been a while. My computer still sucks. Actually, the old crappy one is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Battery's just completely crapped out on it. But Mama Thompson hooked me up with hers, so I'm going to give it a whirl, see how this audio sounds. If it sounds bad, don't worry, I'm saving up for a new computer. So it's a process. I'm running on limited funds here, guys. Just hear me out. But we're going to give it a try just because I had to react to these fights tonight because, man, going into it, I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but it just, after Ray Borg had to pull out at the last second and Demetrius not getting his opportunity to break the record, which is the really only selling point on the card besides the big main event. I mean, there were some really good fights, but I mean, like, this didn't really, like, strike you as a pay-per-view was going to get anything near 200, 300,000 buys. Like, I'd be surprised if they get 200,000 from this. But with that being said, it was a great night of fights. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the prelims right now, catching up because I missed that earlier. But the pay-per-view, I mean, there were a couple decisions, some really hard-fought decisions to start off the pay-per-view. But Henry Cejudo with an incredible first-round knockout over Wilson Hayes completely changed the dynamic of that card. And then there was one other, Dos Anjos over Neil Magny, just ran through him like butter, Damian Maia style in his own way, dropped him with a leg kick. We'll get to all of it, but what I'm trying to say is this card, it's these cards like this, like these 206s where it was, I think what was it, Max Holloway and Anthony Pettis, or I believe that's what it was, UFC 206. That's another thing. Toronto, almost every single time they go to Toronto, it seems like the original main event always falls out, whether it be right the week of the fight like this time or like a couple weeks out like that time. That's crazy. I feel bad for those guys, but I mean, they got a great night of fights. The Toronto guys didn't seem to do very well, but overall, it seemed like a really good night of fights. I hope the Toronto fans enjoyed it, because I certainly enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys. Leave comments, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share. Do it for your boy Mikey T. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of incredible performances. The undercard is just absolutely insane. Gavin Tucker, a guy coming out of Toronto who was like, not Toronto, I can't remember where from Canada he's from, but he was a really big time prospect that showed out on the 206 card I just referenced, and that was his first UFC fight, and he just whooped butt against Sam Sicilia, just made him look like an amateur, and Sicilia is obviously a journeyman and whatnot, and everybody knows that, but he really just made him look like a rookie out there, and we all expected him to come out there, but he met an unstoppable object in Rick Glenn tonight. I know he just moved out there to Alpha Male, and it clearly seems to be working off for him. So, like I said, the Canadians didn't really seem to do very well, but, you win some, you lose some. But with that being said, I'm going to try to go at least 30 minutes today. Hopefully I can get more, but, I kind of by myself, it's really hard. I'm used to doing the podcast, so I'm going to give the YouTube thing a try, and if you guys like it, I'll start doing the podcast again. But like I said, the finances are super low, so we'll give it a try, and let me know what you guys think of it. All right. So first of all, the main event, and I'll be honest, I got into it with some folks on Twitter. Not really into it, but just like really confused as to people's mindset on the scoring. Yeah, it was a close fight. It was a controversial split decision, but was it a robbery? Michael Thompson, Mikey T, he says no. If you say the word robbery, that's not what comes to mind. The word when I think of a robbery, I think of Holly Holm, who might have at the worst won 2 rounds against Durandamy, and then got dropped after the bell sounded and got hit. No, she got hit after the bell twice. The point wasn't taken away. If the point was taken away, at the worst, we're looking at a draw. That's a robbery. If anything, Holly might have even won because, I mean, Excuse me. Obviously, the judges didn't feel that way, but I thought she had won at least 3 of those rounds. But I don't know, Duran to me, that's a whole other story for another different day. But just this whole MMA judging thing, it's a wild, inaccurate science. What was it that I used to describe it? It's an imperfect science. I mean, it sounds kind of like hypocritical to say, but it's an imperfect science. Like, the way that I judge a fight is going to be different than the way that you judge the fight. Us as fans, and you as fans, like, you judge it from the perfect angles, like at the house, like with the big TV, and you can every good angle of the fight. And so you see a fight one way, you see this shot land, and it looks like on TV, like, oh, that was a big shot, but like you're right there in the cage, you see, man, he kind of really, it was more of like a glancing blow. So the judging is an imperfect art, and there's science. We'll call it an imperfect science, even though I feel like science should be perfect. I'm not sure if my vernacular is right there, but we'll just let it fly. But man, I hate it for the people that are taking this win away from Nunes, because I don't know about you guys, but I thought she did incredible. I mean, knowing Valentina's game plan coming in, knowing that obviously in the first fight when she won the first 2 rounds, but she started to fade in the third. And it was a lot more intricate than that, but just for the general overview of it, those that didn't see the first fight, basically Amanda won 2 rounds, started gassing out around into the second round, probably still both won, or definitely won both of them. Third round just got her butt kicked, like just dominated, like got her on the Shevchenko got her on the ground. She's kind of out of her element. You know, we all know Nunes likes to strike. She likes to put those hands on you. But I was really impressed with Nunes' game plan this time, because obviously she didn't go for the fight that would gas her out like it did in that 3-round fight, knowing that it was a 5-round fight this time around. So instead, she comes out slow and methodical, kind of almost playing a Shevchenko-type game plan. So they were it got to be where the Toronto fans were booing. I believe it was more so that I'm sorry, the Toronto fans were booing because completely lost my train of thought there. I think they were booing a lot of reasons. Like, a lot of people were booing because they didn't like Amanda Nunes pulling out of the last fight a couple months back. I'm not sure where I was going with that booing thing, but I'll keep going. Amanda, she really grinded it out, and I know those exchanges were really, it seemed like both girls were ready to fight another couple rounds. That's surprising from like Amanda, who usually has, we don't usually, I don't want to say she has cardio problems, but we don't usually see her in these 5-round fights. I think this was the first 5-round fight of her career. Most other girls, she's either like starching in the first round or getting through 3-round wars. I mean, not even wars, just 3-round butt kickings, like she was used to kicking out when she worked her way up the ladder. However, when she was exchanging with Shevchenko, this is what I was getting at with the boos. The crowd didn't enjoy it because they were kind of both counter-punching, when in reality, Amanda's not really a counter-puncher. But they were both landing shots, and if you look at the stats, like, Shevchenko landed more in, I think, 3 of the rounds, so if that's all you want to base it on, then sure, yeah, maybe Shevchenko won 3 rounds, but I want to say I got to rewatch the fight, because I want to see what shots were significant, what shots landed, what were the timing. Like, I know there's so many different criterias, and like that comes back to the imperfect science. Like, the way that I judge the fight is different than the way that you judge the fight. The guy that's sitting ringside actually paid to judge the fight is going to feel differently than we feel because of the things that he's seen, and obviously nobody comes from the same background either. So it's an imperfect science, and to say it was a robbery, that's just out of hand. I thought it was close. I thought it was 2-2 going into the 5th. I told the buddies I was watching it with that the winner of the 5th round was gonna take the fight, because I mean it was 2-2 in my opinion. We can argue if you'd like. I would like to think that Amanda, from first glance, Amanda landed the better shots, and round by round she won. But I mean, if we're talking pride rules, I'm going Shevchenko. But remember, as much as I want to see somebody get soccer kicked in the face, Vanderlei Silva style, Shogun Hua style, we can't do that anymore. This is UFC, and it's not pride rules. Much to the dismay of Nick and Nate Diaz. I'm sure they would just thrive in pride rules. I would really like to see, not to go off on a tangent here, but I would really love to see Connor and Nate in pride rules. That would be amazing. But let's get back to the card. So just that robbery stuff, I'm not feeling it. I don't know about you guys. If you have a comment, leave it down there. I want to get some feedback. Really thought Amanda did enough. Like I said, 2-2 going into the 5th. She gets the Valentina kind of gave her the fight. She wasn't doing anything to take the fight to Nunes per se. Maybe she was landing more shots. Yeah, well, she definitely landed more shots. But maybe she's landing harder, more cleaner shots. But she wasn't really putting it out. Like, she wasn't like letting it all out there. I know she was trying to conserve for the 5-round fight, but she's been in a 5-round fight with Holly Holm, and she outboxed and outgrappled Holly Holm, which is obviously, we know she's fallen off hard times, but she's also the woman that took down the unbeatable Ronda Rousey. So, I mean, respect to Holly, and even more respect to Valentina for making it through that fight. Good stuff. Water. Good for you. H2O. Drink it. Let's go, champ. Yeah, like I said, though, that tactical error that she made when she started trying to get into a grappling exchange with her in the 5th round, when really she was winning the first half of the round and it was going her way, getting the better shots. I'll admit, she not only did she land more, but she was getting the cleaner shots. But those takedowns at the end, Amanda changed levels beautifully a couple times. I think she got a little outside leg sweep at one point too. But yeah, Valentina was not ready for the grappling situation, and then by the time they got back up, I actually can't even remember if they did get back up. I think they did. Oh, no, they didn't. And at the end, Valentina was really upset, and even though she didn't use all her energy in the fight to try to like go out there and get the kill, she had enough energy to throw an up kick. Like, I don't like that. I mean, I love the way that Conor takes a loss, because he'll explain to you why he lost, what he's going to do to get better, and take it like a man, drink his little shot of whiskey, and go about his day. It's another day tomorrow. But some people just really don't know how to lose. The way that Valentina came on the mic, it's like, I understand that you thought you won, but it's like, when the fight's that close, and this goes out to all the people on Twitter too, it's like, I respect your opinion. I saw it 48-47 Amanda, but I could see 48-47 Valentina easy. I couldn't really see a draw. I saw Danny Columbia of MMAfighting.com had it a draw, and I asked him what round he thought. I mean, there wasn't a 10-8 round, so there's no merit to that. He maybe thought that the last round Amanda was maybe landing good shots, and then those 2 takedowns warranted a 10-8. But in a fight earlier where I gave a 10-7 round to Rick Glenn when he fought Gavin Tucker, I mean, that's a really liberal judges they had there. Some really liberal judges they had out there. Like, they were not really conservative by any means. Yeah, but like I said, robbery, no. I don't know. I hate for Amanda that's what how it has to be. I understand, like, with her going through having to pull out due to the sinusitis issue at, what was it, 213? Yeah, the big July card, 213. And I hated to get her how she got on the mic and started talking about it. I mean, let's kind of put that in the past. You know, it happened. It's here. Let me keep my belt. And she did that, and I'm proud of her. But between that and Valentina getting on there with Sour Grapes, it was just kind of a buzzkill at the end of the night. Luckily, we had some really great performances leading up to it, and goodness gracious, do I have a story for you. If you haven't seen the fights yet, please go download UFC Fight Pass, $9.99 a month, same price as Netflix. So much better if you're a fight fan. Anyways, you can watch old fights, all Pride, Strikeforce. They do all over organizations all over the world, live streams. You get a library of it. It's great. $9.99 a month. That's all you need. So go download that. Check out some fights. What was I getting at? It's been a while since I've done this podcast thing, guys, but I'm back. Rafael Dos Anjos. Don't remember where the Fight Pass thing was coming from, but Rafael Dos Anjos. Goodness gracious. I am so glad he's back. After he got starched by Eddie, and I won't say he had a lackluster performance against Tarek Saffiedine at his debut at 170, but it wasn't anything that would like blow your socks off. But tonight, he looked like a killer, and a guy who Magny's kind of falling into that journeyman role. He had a really nice streak a couple years back, but he's kind of like fallen down on some hard times. That beating he got from Lorenz Larkin. Sure, I don't know if his legs. I mean, clearly, if you watch the fight tonight, I'm not sure that his legs have even recovered from that beating that Larkin gave him. But regardless, Dos Anjos came out there and did a lot better than I thought. I thought he would win, but I thought it would be more like a grueling, grinding out decision. Man, he came out there and took one leg kick on that big giant leg of Neil Magny. He fell like a sack of potatoes and then came down. His jiu-jitsu, people forget about how slick his jiu-jitsu is just because we don't see it, or we haven't been seeing that often ever since he hit Benson Henderson with that flying knee to get that #1 contender, or maybe that earned him his title shot. Regardless, ever since then, we don't see his jiu-jitsu. We don't realize how high level it is. He was passing Magny's guard, like just slipping through it like a knife in hot butter, like easy. And Magny's no joke. Magny and those long legs that usually you get trapped in. I've seen him submit many a guy off his back, or at least not even submission, just escape, escapes, reversals, etc. That's a dangerous man, and for RDA to just slip through him like that, and I think at one point, let's see, what was the exact time of the finish? So here we are. Dos Anjos, arm triangle choke at 1:43 of round number 1. By the way, Amanda Nunes successfully defended her belt, split decision. One judge had it 47-48, one had it 48, and two at 48-47. So 3 rounds to the winner, 2 rounds to the loser. One judge had it for Valentina, but I kind of saw it the other way. And so anybody saying robbery, I understand why you're mad, but get over it. It's MMA. It's an imperfect science. But yeah, man, Rafael Dos Anjos, man, what do I want to see? That my immediate reaction was watching him torch through Magny like that. It looked like a Damian Maia type approach, and I would love to see that fight. Unfortunately, I think he's fighting Colby Covington, and thank God, because I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter or anything, but dude's kind of an asshole. I get what he's doing, and I respect it, because in this game, in this post-Conor McGregor world, you have to self-promote, and you have to do what you do to get your name out there. It's just like, you can kind of tell when someone's not being himself. And even if he is being himself, it's just like, bro, you're kind of corny. You're a great fighter. Great fighter. Is he top 10 worthy? We're about to find out if he's really going to fight Damian Maia. See if he makes it to fight day. But, yeah, instantly the first thing I thought was RDA versus Damian Maia. I mean, I couldn't think of a better fight right now. I mean, I saw some people talking about Robbie Lawler. It's like, yeah, but Robbie is probably going to fight Tyron if I had to guess. I mean, unless Tyron's going to wait around and see if maybe GSP beats Bisping per se, and then maybe GSP wants to come down and try to reclaim his belt and beat champ Conor McGregor style. And then maybe they set up something crazy with Conor McGregor. This is just my Mikey T magic just spewing right here. Yeah, man, that would be something. Yeah, I don't know really what they're going to do with that belt. I say Robbie is the clear #1 contender. I think Wonderboy and Jorge are going to fight at MSG at UFC 217, November 12th, I believe. Maybe 5th, I can't remember. But yeah, so that'll be a good fight. Let's see. Let's look at the rankings real quick. Who do we got? Okay, so Tyron Woodley is 1. Stephen Wonderboy, he is fighting Masvidal, who's 4. Robbie's probably going to fight Tyron, if I had to guess. Damian and RDA makes sense. Condit, man, they just need to take Condit off the rankings because they can't tease me like that. I want to see him fight so bad, preferably against a gentleman not named Damian Maia, because like to watch old Carlos when he's on his feet. On his back, a little bit tougher to watch, especially when it's Damian Maia. You're not in much luck in that situation. But in all due respect, he did say that he was having some problems with, I think, maybe concussions, maybe just concern for his future, and I respect that, and I appreciate everything he's done for the sport, even though I still think Diaz won. What was it, Diaz 135? Pretty sure. But, yeah. Not to digress, yeah. So I think the only thing they can do right now is RDA versus I'm sorry, because Maia's fighting freaking Colby Covington. God, I hope someone beats him so bad. Okay, so how about RDA versus the loser of Wonderboy Masvidal, or RDA versus the winner of Magny Covington? Hey, I'm not saying you guys should hire me, UFC, but be a fantastic matchmaker. And I might have a little bit more for you. Let's see what else I missed. Okay, so we did the main event. We did the co. Henry Cejudo. Oh My goodness. I don't even have the words. Let me take some water to let this marinate. Man, and so in that fight where he took on Benavidez, I think it was the tough finale when DJ fought Tim Elliott. I really went into that thinking that Benavidez was going to just dictate the pace of the fight. Like I thought he had better hands, which technically I should be right. Cejudo is an Olympic wrestler. He's not an Olympic boxer by any means. He's been doing MMA for 4 years, I think. I think he got his title shot when he was like 7-0 or something like that. Maybe that's generous. I can't even remember. But he got it way too soon. But after tonight, I am ready to see that rematch. I think maybe I would love to see him and Benavidez rematch because that was a great fight. Honestly, thought he won, but like I was saying, his hands in that fight looked amazing, but his hands tonight were on another level. He went out there with brutal intentions with every shot. It used to be he was the type of fighter who he never really used his wrestling game unless it was there. It wasn't something that he forced upon. He would just throw really, really not very technical punches, hard punches, not very technical. Tonight he came out quick, he came out powerful, and it showed that if you can go look the knockout up, the right hand he threw when they played it in slow mo, it literally looked like a full speed punch, like right on the jaw, and it was night for old Wilson Hayes. I guess they called it a TKO. Man, he was damn near out. I'm not gonna lie. That was at 2 minutes and no, that was at 25 seconds of the second round. I apologize. Great fight, man. That was those were the fights that really stuck out to me tonight. I have one more on the main card that I was really impressed with. The next one was light heavyweight bout, Ilir Latifi versus Tyson Pedro. Latifi takes a unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. Ended in round 3, 5 minutes decision, obviously. What can you say, man? Pedro, the 205 division is so weak. They fed him to a literal lion too early. I mean, Latifi, granted he got knocked out by Bader, but he's still I'll call him a gatekeeper. He's one of those guys. It's like a litmus test. It's like you see if the prospect is ready to take that next step and fight the top 5 guys in the division. But unfortunately, it didn't really work out for him. He has a lot of holes in his game. I think that this loss actually will be really good for him going forward. He would kind of have some film to look at what he does wrong and what you have to do against a guy like a Latifi. I mean, when a guy is just that big, and I don't even know how much he walks in there at. Like, I can't even imagine how much weight he cuts because that guy is a brick house. I know he's really short and really stocky, but he looks like he cuts a lot of weight too. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a big boy regardless. And the beatdown he put on Pedro was kind of when you need when you're a young, up-and-coming, undefeated fighter. It is what it is. I mean, he showed decent guard. I think he practices. I heard he practiced Japanese jiu-jitsu. Don't quote me on that. But his guard, it was active, but it wasn't really like I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try to get back to what I do best. Like when he knocked out Paul Craig, one of the things I noticed was he knocked him out. It was really vicious, but he had so many holes in his game. He let Craig kind of like impose his game plan, not really beat him up or anything, but he was kind of fighting his fight for a second until he hit some good shots. But man, holes in his game, but that's kind of what you want. Didn't really take. There were some fights tonight I saw where some guys took some unnecessary damage in the prelims. I wouldn't really say he took any unnecessary damage. It is what it is. He should come back. He should be better, and we'll see if he learns from it. And that's what the sport is about. Sometimes you get your ass kicked, and you got to learn. It's just like life. So, with that being said, talking about getting your ass kicked, Jeremy Stephens, ladies and gentlemen, let me get a light golf clap for Jeremy Stephens, the quote-unquote hardest hitter in the 145-pound division that Conor infamously called out. Who the fuck is that guy? After Jeremy tried to say something to him at a press conference one time. I think maybe NYC. Love that guy, man. He's just a killer. Like, I hated seeing him. Like, I think he was on a 2-fight losing streak after beating Barao. Maybe it was just a 1-fight losing streak, but yeah, he beat Barao, looked really good. But then they put him up against Renato Moicano, who was just like this young killer who was coming up the ranks, and people didn't realize how good he was until he fought Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens thought he was gonna steamroll that kid, dude. I thought he was gonna steamroll that kid. If you follow the sport and you thought Moicano was gonna really beat down Jeremy Stephens like that was a 3-round butt kicking, and I did not see that coming. And you know, I think Jeremy's the kind of guy he would much rather fight a Gilbert Melendez. Someone's gonna freaking get in there and bang with you. You know what I'm saying? And man, did he have a game plan. I mean, Gilbert's style has always been to just, like Diego Sanchez, for example, just came out there and just brawled with the brawler. He gave no Fs, just so heavy on the lead foot, Diaz style. Obviously, he doesn't have the range like the Diaz brothers, but it's just that style of, like, I'm here, like, let's square it up. He gets a little too squared up, and I think that's one thing that Jeremy noticed. I mean, I think he talked about it in the post-fight, was just about his style. And, you know, when you're up this tight and you're just really looking to bang and you're just ducking and dodging, you're not thinking about your legs. And, oh my gosh, Gilbert's leg almost got kicked off. I missed the first round of the fight, but the image of his leg just from there on out, just absolutely disgusting. And then Jeremy just kept brutalizing. He kept having to switch stances, and it was throwing his game off. Man, Jeremy took care of business. I mean, Gilbert, he's a tough cookie. There were a lot of tough cookies tonight, but Gilbert, you don't take an ass kicking from Jeremy Stephens like that and, you know, just like not have respect for somebody after that. Like, you have earned my respect for the rest of your fighting time. I'm actually watching the Sarah McMahon Caitlin Vieira, which I will get to in a second fight. Trying to do this. It's really late. I got work tomorrow. I wanted to get that post-fight reaction, immediate post-fight reaction. I don't see enough of those out these days. I do see the ones that, real quick, shout out to my boy Eddie Law, Fred Kirby, all the guys from Crossbones MMA. I just wanted to say, you guys rock. Let me get on a show next time. Somebody falls through or flodges out. Your boy's here. I hope you guys like the show. Hope you share my stuff like I share your stuff. But no, enough of that self-promotion stuff. It's so egotistical of me. Anyways, let's get to the undercard. It was a great undercard. A lot of upsets, just really, really good fights. Like I said, I was just watching Caitlin Vieira defeat Sarah McMahon, submission arm triangle. Round 2, 4 minutes and 16 seconds of round 2. Wow! And what I was just sitting here watching was, I actually missed this fight too. I didn't get to my house until about right before. No, it was the first or second round of Melendez and Stevens. So like the first fight of the main card. So I'm watching the reruns of the prelims now, and the first round, I mean, everyone knew if Sarah McMahon, all she had to do was beat this girl, and she's probably going to get the next title shot. Because think about it. Let me go to my trusty rankings. Let me tell you who's in the top 5 of this division right now. Let's see. Where do they have them at? Women's bantamweight. Okay. Amanda Nunes, champ. Shevchenko, just lost. Holly Holm, just won, but it was against Betch Kohea, and now they're talking about maybe her fighting Cyborg, or maybe Kat fighting Cyborg, but maybe Kat's hurt. I don't know. Get this. Juliana Pena just got her butt kicked by Shevchenko. Shevchenko beat her at her own game. Armbarred her in, I think, the second round. Just nasty. Guess who's still in the rankings? Ronda freaking Rousey. She doesn't even fight anymore. Come on. And then 5 is Rocky Pennington, who I love that girl. She's cool. And her girlfriend, just very, very beautiful woman. I'll leave it at that. I love you, Ticia. I hope Raquel doesn't watch this, because she will kick my booty. And then 6, Sarah McMahon. Kat is 7. She never fights. She hasn't been fighting because of injuries and whatnot. Jermaine, 7. Just had surgery on her hand. Liz Carmouche, Alexis Davis, Marion Renault, Kaylin Chukagian. Are we really just going to do this? Like, The next fight is gonna be the next title fight is literally gonna be Nunes versus Rocky Pennington, unless they talk Holm into taking the fight. They could talk Holm into taking the fight, but I feel like Holm is gonna want to fight Cyborg because they're gonna pay her more. Nunes, the UFC has not been treating Nunes well since the whole pulling out a 213 thing. Like what Dana said, that was just kind of. I like Dana, but that was just really not cool. What he said as far as criticizing her about not wanting to fight. It's like, man, you're not the one in there putting your life on the line and putting your financial future on the line. Once again, another story for a different day. Oh, wow, this is the point in the fight when Vieira really starts taking over, putting it to McMahon. I think they said, I listened to a recap show earlier, and they said that McMahon gets taken down, just really doesn't expect it. Oh, she tried to hip toss her. Ooh, good knee by McMahon. Ooh, good uppercut. Wow, she really was kicking her butt. Cannot believe she ended up pulling the upset here. But anyways, like I said, that division is I don't even know what you want to call that division right now. It's kind of a mess. Honestly, the best thing probably for the UFC would have been for Valentina to win, so they could do the I don't know, the what you call it, the trilogy. I mean, I would the best fight they could make is Valentina and Amanda again, but it's just like, are you gonna give the girl who just lost the next title shot to the girl that she lost to? Like, that's pretty unprecedented. Pretty unprecedented, if you ask me. I might be wrong. Oh, this is where it all goes bad for Sarah. She starts to mentally give up. I can already see it in her face. She did not expect to get taken down by this girl. I believe she was a last-minute replacement because Sarah was supposed to fight somebody good. Not saying this girl's not good. I only saw her fight one other time, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Regardless, we already talked about it. She's gonna end up panicking. I think she makes some mistakes, tries to work her guard, and then ends up giving an arm getting caught with her arm up, and the next thing you know, just sliding in that arm triangle, and whew, it looks like it's about to come now. The arm is getting trapped. Oh, she's setting her up really well. Oh, man, I love this sport. I really love this sport. Man, just digging that elbow in her throat. Just make it to where she can't breathe. Oh, there it is. Oh, is she going to tap from half guard? No, she is not. Oh, my God, it's in tight. Oh, she's trying to defend. She can't do it. Oh, my God, she's going to have to tap from half guard. Sage Northcutt style. Oh! Oh! Oh, she taps. That's unbelievable. Caitlin Vieira. Hey, let's get her in the top 15. Was this her first fight? This might have been her fight in the her first fight in the UFC. Oh no, she's 13. Hey, let's do Caitlin Vieira versus Hey, real talk. I say Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes is the fight to make at bantamweight. You could sell that fight because both girls are the two girls that murked Ronda. And then I say Caitlin Vieira jumps all these ladies and fights Rocky Pennington, and that should be your number one contender fight. Because, I mean, what's Juliana Pena going to do? You want to go to 125? Go to 125. They're about to have a division. Kat, it's either going to be Kat or Holly or Amanda that are going to be the ones fighting Cyborg. So if I had to put my money, I would say it'd be Holly. I would much rather see her fight Amanda and maybe Kat go up there and fight Cyborg. I think they both have actually a pretty, at least a better chance than most people would give them as far as beating Cyborg. Like, I feel like everyone thinks that Cyborg is just this like absolute murderer, and I'm not saying that she's not, but I just definitely see girls like Holly Holm having a good shot, or somebody that can. The only thing about her, about Cyborg, is her ground game is just so top level. So like, if you're gonna beat her, you need to either be way stronger, which is gonna be impossible because she's the strongest woman in the UFC by far. So I guess really all it is that Holly Holm style stick and move, or somebody with just unbelievable power. Maybe an Amanda Nunes if she landed that one shot, but I don't know. I mean, there's options, I guess. Caitlin Vieira, that's a huge performance for her. I really am glad I got to see that. Definitely thought Sarah McMahon was going to run through this girl, and she was in the first round. And then the next thing you know, you tap from half guard. And I know a lot of these people watching this video are going to be like my friends and family who don't understand jiu-jitsu at all. But basically, when you're on your back, you want to get both of your legs around their hips. So you can control their hips, kind of keep them from passing your guard if passing your guard is like stepping over to a more advantageous position. Anyways, basically you want to have both legs wrapped around. Half guard is when you only have one leg wrapped around with your legs and kind of have it locked up. And there's certain submissions that, especially in arm triangle, like a really good arm triangle on this card was RDA versus Neil Magny. He had it locked up. Neil's arm was up here or up here. I can't remember. But yeah, RDA had the squeeze, and then he passed over into side control on the, is it the opposite side? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've got my jiu-jitsu game on. I need to step my game up. Jacob Voloshin, I got you, son. But yeah, this was from half guard. There's certain submissions, like if you don't have the proper hooks in, they call hooks like your legs. Like if you don't have your legs in, there's certain submissions that are not supposed to work. I think that was more of Sarah getting giving up. Like it sounds so bad because she's such a tough girl, and I know she's had a hard life. And I respect the hell out of her for what she did. She was beating the crap out of this girl. She's a good fighter, but when she got hit with that knee by Ronda, when Ronda was the big thing, it was like, you got hit in the knee one time, and you're going to just give up like that? I mean, maybe it hit her in the solar plexus. I don't know. But whatever. When you have that quit in you, another life lessons by Mikey T right here, if you have that quit in you, it's going to come out when you get hit really hard, or when you get in a really bad choke, or when your arm's about to get ripped off. It's about how you can respond to that moment and use the knowledge that you have accrued throughout this journey of life to make the correct decision, because if you don't, it's going to cause a lot of physical harm, maybe even some brain damage. So, to all my fighters out there, go to the gym as often as possible. It's so hard out here. I'm trying to go take some jiu-jitsu classes, but I really don't have the money. So if anybody wants to like get a roll in, like at the park, Jacob Voloshin, I'd be down with that too. Maybe I am going to get 30 minutes. I actually think I already hit 30 minutes because I still got a couple more fights to talk about. Let's see. Sarah Moraes got a first-round submission over Ashley Evans-Smith, which is crazy because I think Sarah Moraes hasn't fought since, let's see. Yeah, her last fight, she had lost a unanimous decision to Jessica Andrade back when she was still fighting at 135, I think, 2 years ago, July 15th, 2015. And wow, man, I also missed that fight. I guess I kind of wasn't paying attention when it was replaying earlier. But yeah, to submit her with an armbar like that. Oh, they said that girl's arm was about to snap too. I was listening to some other reaction videos earlier. They said that girl's arm was about to snap. I'll have to go rewind it and watch it later. But you guys should definitely check it out. Because man, it was so funny because when Rick Glenn, I'm gonna get to that the next fight. Rick Glenn defeated Gavin Tucker. Rick Glenn got on the mic and said, "I don't really like to hurt people. It's a fight business, but like, he's like, I'm a nice guy." Like he gave that spiel, and then apparently Sarah Moraes goes on the mic and goes, Did you think you hyperextended her arm? She goes, "I hope so." Like, that's the exact opposite. There's a large bug in here trying to make some noise on my podcast. No, sir, you stay over there. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and try to get that soundbite. That's awesome. But yeah, the aforementioned fight, Rick Glenn versus Gavin Tucker. Rick Glenn just moved to Team Alpha Male, I believe. He said he had been doing side jobs, and I think he might have been the guy who was working at Costco about a year ago. There was somebody who I heard that they were talking about on this card who was working at Costco a year ago. That's crazy. But anyways, he defeats Gavin Tucker, unanimous decision, 30-25, 30-24, and then one stupid Canadian judge had it 29-27. So, wow. What can we say about this fight? That's a big upset for you right there. Did anybody think that, with as spectacular as Gavin Tucker looked at UFC 206, did anybody really think that Rick Glenn was a tough cookie? Don't get me wrong, Rick Glenn's a great fighter, but Gavin Tucker, I mean, he made it look so easy against Sam Sicilia that it was like we were just not. He was facing a really big size disadvantage. The guy was a lot taller than him, and respect him. He got dropped. He got lit up in that fight, but he did not give up. And I thought they should have stopped the fight several times. If I was in his corner, I wouldn't have even let him gone out for the third, because you knew what was going to happen. He kept going for these leg locks, and it's like, yeah, you're just grabbing on his leg, trying to make sure you don't get hit in the face. Like, you're getting hit in the face, and you're like grabbing a leg, trying to distract them, thinking that your leg lock's going to work, and it's like, no, you are getting your butt kicked. He's still going to punch you in the face while you're grabbing for that leg. Like, you're just reacting off of his offense. Like, you're not looking to escape. You're not advancing your position. Like, there was definitely a couple rounds in there where I thought it was 10-7 with these new judging criteria that we have. Like 10-7 rounds, that is, you don't see that every day. I'm actually doing pretty good on time. I'm pretty proud of myself. Maybe I can start doing this. I gotta get that MacBook, man. Gotta get that MacBook. That's gonna change the game. And then Matt Sully's gonna produce it for me. Get the music, get the visuals. Man, big things on the way. Big things on the way. Last fight I want to talk about. There were also two other fights on the prelim cards. I'll just briefly mention. Cajun Johnson defeats Adriano Martins by knockout at 49 seconds of the third round, and Aryan Bular defeats Luis Henrique unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Huh, they typed that weird. Yeah, it was all three judges had it 29-28. I guess one of the judges had it. Oh yeah, one of the judges had it for the other guy. That makes sense. Okay, but the last fight I want to talk about, Alex White versus Mitch Clark, and this was my favorite moment of the whole night, and I did not see it live. I watched the replay just now. Alex White just went out there and beat, I'm sorry, Grandma, he beat the shit out of Mitch Clark, I'm sorry. And I was seeing shots that would have just broken every bone in my face, I feel like. I do have not the strongest face. I do have a large face. I can't take a punch, but like these shots literally look like they were breaking his skull. Like unbelievably powerful shots. And this man, he went down, he got back up, he went down, he got back up. And, you know, that heart is what gets a lot of people hurt in this business. When you're not the best athlete, but you have the willingness to go in there and give it your all and tough it out, that's what makes some of these incredible fights. Like Diego Sanchez, Gilbert Melendez, like these kind of fighters, they leave it all on the line. But the thing is, when you're doing that and it's not going well for you, you're going to take a lot of damage. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because Mitch Clark actually decided to retire after the fight. So I'm going to have a drink of this here water for my boy Mitch. Great career, man. You're a true warrior, dude. You might have gotten your butt kicked tonight. I'm sure you'll be the first person to admit that. But that was one of the gutsiest performances I've ever seen in my life. To really survive that long. I thought they were going to stop it. Talk about the other fight I was saying that I thought they were going to stop it early. This fight could have been stopped several times. But honestly, what a performance by freaking Alex White, man. I think this was his first fight at lightweight. Was he the one who fought Lobov? Because I know he just moved up from featherweight. So Yeah, he beat Lobov. He lost to Tony Martin by a unanimous decision in January of this year. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good for him. He looked great against Lobov. I thought that was because Lobov sucked, and then Lobov actually picked up a win against Ishihara, or is that his name? Ishihara, out of Team Alpha Male. Doesn't matter. Yeah, dude, great fight. That was honestly the most savage moment of the night. Seeing that go down, that was just an unbelievable beating. That's really all. I mean, I wish I could go more in detail about the Fight Pass fights, but I did not get a chance to see that because I'm broke as hell and don't have the money for Fight Pass right now. I know it sucks. I can maybe show you my Patreon so you guys can maybe donate a little money to the fund, to the MacBook fund, maybe give me a chair. I'm just kidding, dude. Honestly, all I want from you guys is your reaction, any questions. I would love to answer them. If this whole computer thing actually works and the sound is good on this, I'm gonna try to get some of my fighters back on. Maybe promote some big fights coming up. Maybe do some local stuff. Get back together with old Jacob Woloshin. I'm sure he'd love to be on the podcast. Craig Simmons, some good guys, good banter they have. It's a lot easier to do those kind of podcasts where they're here and we can bounce the ideas off of each other. But yeah, I just want to try this. I'm probably gonna go to sleep now because I'm not even gonna tell you guys what time it is because I had to do my studying before I did this podcast. Wanted to make it pristine for you. I'm rambling here. It's too late. I need to go to bed. I'm gonna edit this in the morning. I'm gonna try to post it before work. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share it, do whatever you have to do. And I'm gonna keep it 100 all day, every day. This is Mikey T. This is not the MikeyTMMA podcast. This is the MikeyTMMA YouTube channel. If this audio does work and everything's good, I will upload this, or I will start uploading podcasts again, so you can get those on your phone and not actually have to listen to it off the YouTube app. And as a man who always runs out of data, I understand how much data YouTube uses. So I will do that for you guys. Hope you guys liked it. Like I said, any questions, anything, please, any feedback, I would love it all. But until next time, guys, it's Mikey T. This has been the MikeyTMMA YouTube channel, and we are